Hello lovely people, today we're on the floor. Well hello friends, those with a capital F and a small f, and welcome to a corner of my bedroom floor. And the light, by the way, is not working with us today, so that's why I'm out of breath. I've been chasing it around the bedroom. I'm really trying to work out this whole new mum, working mum thing. When you work from home, it is hard because how do you do it? You need to do some work and answer some emails, but also your baby is right there and crying because he had his inoculations yesterday and he has a fever. I know your email says urgent, but also, is it? And my wife was like, he's fine, he's sleeping. Go and film that video you need to film. That's what we're doing. We're sitting here and we're bringing some calm and peace back into my life by talking about Quakerism, which is my religion, for those who don't know. And Quakerism is, well, it's a wonderful religion. I'm massively biased, much like every time I say, my baby is stunning. Quakerism brings me an excellent amount of calm and spiritual soothing to my life. Quakerism, as we will find out in a minute, has a lot of quietness to it, but also a lot of activism. Also something we'll talk about in a minute. Deep breaths. So, in today's video, we're going to be discussing your assumptions about my religion, which I asked you on my Instagram at @JessicaOutofTheCloset, which you should go and follow me on if you're not already following me. The link is in the description down below. Yes, go and follow me, and I'm going to be answering them. There we go. Well done, Jessica. We've got the point of today's video. It's Amish. No, though I do see where you were coming from with that one. We did like hats. We had some good hat game. It inherently makes you a good person, i.e. no bad eggs. No, I can't say that there are no bad Quakers. There are definitely people who were Quakers whose behaviour was not always excellent. Okay, such as Quakers were abolitionists and believed in racial equality from a very, very early stage. However, there were some Quakers who owned other human beings, i.e. held people as property as slaves, which other Quakers very much frowned upon. I'm afraid being a Quaker does not make you just an innately wonderful human being. Quakers are awesome! We wouldn't have Cadburys without Quakers. Yes, this is true. You won't be raising Rupert in a specific religion, but exposing him to different beliefs. So within Quakerism, you are not a Quaker until you choose to be. I was raised within Quakerism, but then decided to become a Quaker when I was 16. So you don't raise a child with the, necessarily with the expectation that they will become. It is something that they have to choose for themselves, and they are only then accepted as a member. I say you have to be over the age of 16. That was the case back in my day. I do not know if that's the case still. So even though I think it would be really fun for Rupert to have some of the experiences that I had as a child in terms of like going to Quaker summer school with my friends, the bits that I really liked about that was that I got to have friends who lived all over the country. Much like a cousin, you don't feel a lot of pressure as a small child that the maintaining of that friendship is on you. Like, you have to keep arranging your play dates together and texting them and like bugging your mom to arrange dates for you to see each other because you're going to see each other at the next Quaker event. So that's definitely an aspect that I want for him. I do really want him to have the 5 core beliefs of Quakerism when he's growing up, and those are peace, equality, justice, sustainability, and simplicity. So simplicity we kind of talked about in terms of quiet and the calm, but also how having a kind of stripped back, slightly simpler, calmer life can make things a bit easier for you, and that, it's also how we bring Montessori into the life as well. So, let's talk a little bit more about that in this advert for Skillshare. Bum bum! So let's talk about Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. You can just explore your new interests, or you can use it to develop an existing interest, or use it to search for a new skill that you'd maybe like to try out, or just get lost in watching other people's creativity and then use it to inspire your own. Today I want to share this class with you, Everyday Minimalism, Finding Calm and Creativity in Living Simply by Erin Boyle. Erin shares her flexible approach to minimalism with steps designed to help you build a more peaceful, fulfilling life at any stage. You'll learn how to get purposeful about your time, energy, and money. Life isn't always simple, but at the end of the 35-minute class, you'll have a personalized action plan that actually is. Tap into your creativity, unlock your confidence, and discover the power of doing more with less for yourself, your loved ones, and the planet. We're actually really into the idea of vague minimalism. I know, vague minimalism, what be that? Because, as you know, the M word is coming. Montessoriing Rupert, and part of that involves him really stripping back what's around him, how many things he has and how many things we have. But at the same time, we don't love the minimalist look of everything being like a flat white surface, if you get my meaning. We've gone with the trying to minimalize the number of items, even though those items might be kind of like prettified. So sign up today by clicking the top link in my description, and the first 1,000 people who click the link in my description will get 1 month of Skillshare Premium for free. And Premium, by the way, is the good stuff. So you can actually start, really exploring your creativity, try out new things, and after that it's only around $10 a month. It's a very closed community, but less intense than other versions of Christianity. I would say it's not closed. Anyone can go to a Quaker meeting. You're very welcome. Don't walk into a meeting that's in progress, because that's just rude. You don't need to be worried about that. You don't need to be invited or anything of that sort. We're not a sect, a private. What am I trying to say? Oh, we're not like a secret club. What's that thing called? We're not the Illuminati. Don't worry. You don't have to know someone who's already in it in order to be invited. However, I suppose it can seem much like anything where people on the inside already know each other. It can seem very closed. I think I went to a lot of youth things when I was younger, and because we all sort of grew up together going to these youth things with each other, although it was very heavily put into us from a very young age to never have exclusive behaviour. That was always like the biggest sin. Not that we believe in sin, but basically we were always told don't be exclusive. And I think we were always quite hurt and upset if we thought we had been, and if we thought we'd upset someone by being exclusive with our behaviour, which just means sort of excluding someone. Yes, you're going to every single event with all the same people. It definitely feels to others a bit like, oh, you all know each other. Wow, you guys grew up together. Can't lie. It does sometimes feel a bit closed even to me, because I am a bit different. Oh, real talk. I do feel a little bit like a little bit sort of excluded sometimes from things. I think part of it is because my age group, there's a lot of fall off. So you tend to get sort of teens, young people, obviously children, teens, who still come with their families. And then there's a kind of fall off when people go to university. Sometimes people at university are still quite active, but then they graduate and it's a bit like, and I'm completely the same, obviously, because you're like, job, life, and life just kind of gets on top of you, and you're busy, and you kind of travel at the weekends, and just stuff's happening and it's all getting on top of you, and then it tends to be, then you have kids, and suddenly you're like, my life has settled down now. Now I'd like to start getting back into going into meetings more. But now I wish I had more of a stable local meeting that I go to, rather than dropping in and out of different ones. So yes, I need to get more involved in my local meeting. Yeah, I know I stick out like a sore thumb wherever I go. And I dress like this all the time and I don't really want to change it. Because I dress with joy in my heart, no dress to celebrate every day. Okay, next question. You view Quakerism more as a life philosophy than an organised religion? A personal question. Interestingly, right underneath, someone asked, it's not really a religion, it's more a shared community. I think there are definitely young people nowadays who view Quakerism as a way of life and aren't as involved in the organised religion aspects. I personally, as I said, gonna dip my toes back into the organised religion aspects and see how I feel about it. So very strict and strict clothing guidelines. No, we had strict clothing guidelines. Now, no. I love that these two assumptions came in one after the other. Quakers are all pro-LGBT, and then it's extremely conservative. Quakers, in some areas, are pro-LGBT, very much so. Quakers in other areas are more conservative because Quakerism is very varied. There aren't very many Quakers in the world. There are about 380,000 Quakers worldwide. However, more than half of today's Quakers live in Africa, and as many of a third, I believe, live in Kenya. And the version of Quakerism that is prevalent in Kenya is a lot more conservative than the Quakerism that we have in the UK and in the US. And they are not as pro-LGBT. They are also more likely to call themselves Christian than Quakers in the UK, and they actually have pastors where we don't. They have programmed worship and songs. We don't sing songs. There's also a growth of Quakers in Latin America who are also more conservative than Quakers in the UK. So yeah, I suppose I can't say no if someone says your religion is conservative. You love or hate oats, there is no middle ground. God damn those oats. Probably shouldn't say God damn. I do believe in the spirit, so. You're basically Mormon. That's a new one. I don't know enough about Mormonism to answer that. Quakers are super chill about the existence of other religions. True. You can be another religion and also a Quaker. So you could be a Jewish Quaker or a Muslim Quaker. Oh, and that's a picture of my baby. So I looked at him this morning and I was like, oh my goodness, you are massive now. You're definitely big enough for those 0 to 3 month trousers. They'll fit. They did not. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, every day I'm like, wow, you're massive now. And then I put something next to him and I'm like, oh. Thank you so much, my darlings, for joining me down on my bedroom floor today as I attempt to escape this ray of sunshine. I hope you enjoy this kind of, I don't know what this is, style of video, talk at you, to you, with you, towards you. I'm answering your questions, therefore, assumptions. I'm answering your assumptions, therefore with you, we'll be with you. Right. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been nice. Actually, you know what? It's really helped me. Being chatty, just talking, I've got out some of my feelings. I feel less stressed about poor baby. Oh, so now I'm talking about it and I can feel it rising. No. Quaker calm. Oh, it does work. It really does work. It does work. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. It's been really lovely talking to you. Thank you for sticking with me as I try to work out my way of getting back into the swing of things and making videos whilst having a little one around and so on and so forth. It's a bit tough working out how to be a mum. And so on and so forth, but you know, gotta get back to work, especially now we're a single income family since someone in accounting messed up my wife's maternity and she's not been paid for 5 months. But oh well, it's fine. If you're new here, do hit the subscribe button. Come and join a lovely family of people on this warm, welcoming, whimsical channel. Someone called it that the other day and I love it and we're running with it. I shall see you next time, and thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Remember, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare Premium, so make sure that you click it today and start exploring your creativity. And I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.